and welcome back to another episode of the What Was That podcast. I'm Jazzy.
And I'm Addi.
Well, everyone, spring has officially sprung, so you know what that means.
I can finally be happy again.
Yes, that, and it's finally time to go on fun trips again. But with all that traveling, you're bound to come across a terrifying tale or two.
Are you saying that I can't just run away from my problems?
After reading these stories, you realize you can't escape by bus, train, car.
What about by plane?
I mean, have you seen the news lately? Literally, they're catching on fire.
Okay.
They're falling out of the sky.
Well, I guess I'll have to listen to these stories before I choose.
You must choose one.
I'm set on fire, creep.
I might be able to fight the creep. I cannot fight a fire. Tis
That's
not my
true.
profession.
But if you go down Yellow Jackets, it's... Well, no, people in Yellow Jackets took a long time to die. I'd scratch that.
Story 1. Fedora Hat Creep. This happened at the bus stop a morning before school. The bus stop is right in front of my house. There's a kid who lives down the road from me, has the same bus stop. Let's call him FH for Fedora Hat. I'm just going to say Fedora Hat because I'm reading it. And yeah. Fedora Hat wears fedora hats, has long hair, creepy but still nice, typical milady stuff.
Excuse me, milady.
One day we were alone at the bus stop and I was waiting for my neighbor, who is my best friend, to come to my rescue. We can see her house from the stop. To make small talk, I say something along the lines of, I always catch myself looking over at my best friend's house waiting for her to come. Fedora Hat agrees, but then makes a weird comment.
It's like we get the binoculars and just look out our window.
Then he decides to turn towards my window, invisible binoculars in hand, and say,
Oh, look at OP's nice round boobs.
I nervously laughed, but inside I was screaming. The creepiest part is I never told him which window was my room. Oh, and a few weeks later, me and my best friend were in my room, and she looks out of my window and realizes his bedroom window has a clear view of mine. The end. Ew.
Yeah. Ew, that's so gross.
I know his hands are clammy. I just fucking know.
You know that he smells like nacho cheese Doritos, too?
He looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy. His hands are clammy. He smells like nacho cheese
greasy,
Doritos.
acne all over, and not because he can't help it, but because he never washes his face.
He doesn't fucking shower, which is why his hair is super greasy.
Yeah, he showers once a month when his mom tells him to.
Mm-hmm. And he's confused why girls look at him weird.
Yeah, she comes downstairs and she's like, Billy, you haven't showered in a month and my whole house smells like McDonald's. I need you. And she gets him in there and gives him a little sponge bath because that's what mamas do.
That's what mamas do.
Mamas of fedora hat wearing miladies do.
Ew. I hate that.
Yeah.
I wish they told him to kick rocks and shove it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's super weird that... I mean, obviously he knows because he's looking at her like the girl next door kind of vibe. And that's what's so gross is that he is, to him, it's a romantic.
Yeah. Romantic?
Yes. Right? Well, I was like romantical, It's
Were you going to
right
say romanticy?
There. Yeah.
Dark romanticy.
Me listening to Credence right now. But yeah, he's thinking it's the girl next door, and she's like, this guy's watching me through my window at night.
Yeah.
Used to. He had big binoculars, and he would watch people out the window with his binoculars.
Outside of your window, like he's standing inside. And okay.
Yeah. One time, we lived in Austin, and we lived across the street from this memory care home, and he would sit and watch the old people walk outside.
I mean, better that they're walking outside and not just in their house.
Yeah, for sure, but
What a strange little hobby.
I know. I don't know if I'll keep that in there.
Yes.
But
He's like, there's Ethel again. Anyway.
one time I stayed at this little cabin in Missouri on this guy's property, and I was in the kitchen with someone. We were making out,
As you do.
And I looked out the window of the door, because there's a door or a window in the door. And I looked out, and the guy, I shit you not, it was probably one of the scariest things in my life. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why this is all coming back to me. I was so excited about it at first, and then the fear came back, because I'm just imagining myself how it felt. But I turned around and I looked up, and I made eye contact with the old man who was sitting in his dark house with just a light behind him, like one dim light, staring and watching me through the window. And it's dark outside in the middle of nowhere, Missouri.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere. And
that's like a horror movie.
That's
the first 15 minutes of a horror movie.
Yeah, and there was a back room that was locked with a skeleton key, and then there was a door on the outside, so I was like, he can just come in. We could have come in the house anyway, but yeah, immediately after that, I was like, I want to go to bed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so same sort of vibe.
That's wild. I don't know.
You know how everyone says that you have a naked neighbor?
I'm the
naked
used to
neighbor.
be the naked neighbor. Now I'm on the first floor. I'm no longer fifth floor. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fair.
First, someone could like knock up and be like, "Hey,
I like that free show." They just
good.
like tuck a $10 bill
yeah,
in your balcony.
They show
Hey,
up
keep
every
it
day
going.
at 5:15.
You get home, you got to take your work clothes off, and then they're sitting there, binoculars in hand, one hand.
He's like, matching today, nice.
Nice, like that. One of my...
Here we go again.
I'm like saying the worst stuff today. One of my first pickup lines on Quentin was, I'm wearing matching underwear, and I only do that for special occasions.
Fool.
If you go up and ask him, hey, what was the first pickup line Addison used on you? He'll tell you that exact thing.
What was the first pickup line I used on you?
The one where you told me you were wearing matching underwear?
I know a girl, her pickup line one night was, I brought a raincoat. Do you want to swim? So raincoats are condoms.
Oh.
100% effective, as it turns out.
Oh.
Yep.
I feel like anything's effective on a guy, though. Yeah. So, anyway.
Ew, what a little freak. I hope he realizes what a little freak he is and he just stops.
That's the problem.
Nobody likes that. They don't realize it.
They don't realize it. You've seen Don't Worry, Darling. They just go till the end.
They're just like, well,
They just get more and more incel
obviously
as the days
something's wrong with
pass.
the woman and nothing's wrong with me.
Yeah.
Because I was told I was perfect.
Mama told me I'm perfect. Mama told me I don't need to change at all.
I don't need to ever wipe the Dorito dust off my fingers.
No, my
This is what girls
Mountain Dew,
want.
my Baja Blast is sitting next to me, and it's an empty cup, and now it's filled with pee. And you know what? My mom will come downstairs and rinse that out because she loves me.
You know, I always thought that I would want like at least one child. I'm like, what if it was a milady?
You have
So
to them.
Don't want a child.
Not condoning child violence, but
A small amount of shame.
a lot of shame. If
Yeah.
I had a milady child, it would be constant shame every day. I'd be like, you're a fucking loser. They'd probably
Fedora's
try to
just
kill me,
gone.
but
I have to be, my mom hated me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the guy on TikTok who does the transformative haircuts, and he does so
Yes.
many miladies?
Yep.
That's
It
always very
really is
interesting.
a shower and a haircut and maybe some
Brushing your teeth.
brushing your teeth.
Brushing your teeth's important. Anyway, she's not the girl next door. She is technically the girl next door, but you're the Disturbia man next door.
Literally, they're in two different movies.
Yeah, completely. It's like whenever they add different music to different movie trailers. Have
Yeah.
you seen the ones where they turn Twilight into a horror movie? That's my favorite one.
Yeah. Well,
It's so good.
if you're Charlie Swan, it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
I saw this thing that I like didn't think of where they were talking about when Charlie hugs Bella when she's a vampire for the first time, and he's like, yeah, they can. He realizes that she feels cold and hard Oh,
Hank.
hi. I was like, what the fuck was that?
It's Hank. Dog, down here.
But yeah, she feels like cold and hard, and he's a police officer. He's around dead bodies a lot. He knows what a dead body feels like, and he's like, what the fuck?
Well, she's supposed to be porcelain.
Yeah.
So it's like hugging a porcelain doll.
Very strange.
Which would be so weird. Imagine hugging me and I'm just like clink, 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 clink.
The clinking is what's so funny.
Can I help you, sir?
She didn't have to make that canon, and she did.
Yeah, I don't know why that was such a big driving plot. I heard a Reddit story today on the Smosh Reddit podcast.
Okay.
And it was an Am I the Asshole? And she set an ultimatum, or her boyfriend set an ultimatum that she couldn't listen to audiobooks anymore.
Huh?
Because she would listen to like romance novels and stuff, but some of them weren't even smutty.
Yeah.
Like at one point, during this exact issue, she was listening to Twilight with her headphones on.
Okay.
And
yeah.
her boyfriend came up and yanked her headphones off and was like, stop listening to that. And she's like, I'm literally listening to a teenage romance that a Mormon woman wrote.
Right.
And so he was like, it makes me feel insecure because you're wanting a relationship like that and I can't give it to you. And that's not, what's the word?
Fair.
No, when something is out of the realm of being possible.
Impossible.
No. Oh my God, what's the word? Not a fever dream, but like basically like a pipe dream.
Delusional?
Yeah, essentially. Like that's delusional. It'll never happen. That's too far out of reach.
Yeah.
And so he was like, you have to stop listening to them or I'm going to break up with you.
So first of all, he has no aspirations.
He was cheating on
Just
her.
like, of course he was. They always are.
They always are.
Yeah.
Insecure men.
I hate that.
No.
See, okay. Bettina has listened to all of ACOTAR and all of Fourth Wing, and she's made Max start also listening to them, and so he gets to like a little spicy scene. He's like, oh.
It's good for you.
Okay.
First of all, I will say, on this little tangent that we're going on, people who shit on smut or any sort of romance read one.
Yeah.
Enlighten yourself.
Yeah.
Give yourself a good time.
It's fine.
Because it's just like porn, except you're not objectifying real people.
Right.
It's completely fiction. And you can picture whoever you want.
Yeah.
Whoever you want in the world, you can picture them. And it's not a real person being objectified and sold for their body. Mm-hmm. Love sex workers, obviously.
Yeah.
But I would prefer to read my porn than watch a really dramatized, aggressive version of it.
I like the story all around it. Is it always a good story? No.
No, but I liked it. Yeah.
I enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
That got us to where we are.
Like I always say, that trend on TikTok where that woman was like, books I loved and my husband loved, but he didn't read.
Yep. Yep. There's a throne scene in Iron Flame, and I have the dramatic audio, and like, because we talk about it so often, so Lee's been like, what are you even reading? Like, what is this? So I was like, don't worry, I'll show you. So like, I've read like parts of the book that are like a little spicy, and then like parts of the book that are just normal, like straight plot. Here's what we're doing. Like, it's a real book too.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
But he was asking, he's like, what's the spiciest scene? And I was like, don't worry. I pulled up the dramatic audio. I like put on the throne scene, and he's just like doing like all the faces where we're freaking out. And then I thought he was going to pause it because he like walked toward the computer, and then she said something else. He's like, oh my God.
The dramatic audios are always so much better too. Because don't get me wrong, I love a good audiobook scene. It's okay, especially when it's a duet, so there's a man and a woman reading at the same time. I can still do the woman narrating everything. That's fine. I'm fine with that. But there's something about the graphic audio that it's just like, that is actual porn. You're not watching it. There's moaning.
The slogan is a movie in your mind, and they deliver.
If you have not listened to a graphic audio, get on it.
Yeah.
All of ACOTAR's on a graphic audio. Iron Flame and Fourth Wing and all that are on graphic audio. Zodiac Academy is on graphic audio. Mm-hmm. What else is?
There's
there's another one from Fire and Ash.
I didn't get into that.
Crescent City was too Monster High for me.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, but from Fire and Ash is also another one. I keep tapping my nails. Another one that's on dramatic audio that I have on my wish list on Libby. But yeah, they're so good. If you like romance, even if you don't, we have some male listeners.
Any book is probably also good.
Yeah, any book is good to listen to or read or dramatic audio. Yes,
yeah.
But we've got a lot of male followers now, which is kind of cool.
We've got male followers?
Yeah, very interesting. Hey, you 10. But men, you should also read them because
I feel it boosts your relationships.
It does.
Gives you ideas.
Gives you ideas, and it also helps you realize how women want to be treated.
Yeah. So
if you want a textbook, that is actually a guideline. Mm-hmm. Except for some of the weird ones.
So there are some ones that consent is good. Maybe just talk it through with your partner.
C&C is great.
Read it together. Do a book club.
Yes.
And be like, what did you think of what we read? And then,
just test the waters a little bit. Just see how their brain is working.
Yeah.
See how it's going.
See if there's avenues you can explore. Ones that you've never considered possible.
Yeah. And it opens up a whole new world. Like I'm reading a monster romance book where the guy has... I'm not going to say too much detail because it'll probably gross some people out. But it has tentacles, if that tells you.
Shut up. Okay, so every time I talk about this, I was like, Addison's like, in just like, she's got more recommendations that I haven't ventured into yet. And he's like, what is it, tentacles? And I was like, he's joking? But then you say this.
Okay, it's not just tentacles, though. It's a part of it. No, so he had...
I'm glad my dad doesn't know how to listen to a podcast.
My mom's going to listen to this, but my mom is getting into it.
Yes.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
I love that you like them.
It's a fun journey.
It is. If anyone ever needs book recommendations, any of our listeners, I could do a whole episode. I read over 100 books. We should. Mm-hmm. Whenever we start getting bigger, we can do a Patreon, and we can have a Patreon book club.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
Cute.
That would be really nice. I still want to just do a book club with the ladies, though.
I would like that as well.
I'll send another.
So many more book clubs, and they all kind of just...
Yeah, nobody's got...
Life happens.
Adulthood is really hard.
It's busy.
Keeping up with stuff.
Don't have time.
No.
Story 2. Met a guy on a bus trip. Seemed decent, but turned out creepy. What just happened? So I was traveling from Nashik to Pune on an MSRTC bus, and I ended up meeting this guy who was a tourist from Bengaluru? Yeah, tourist from Bengaluru traveling with his family. I sat next to his mom, and he was seated in front of us. A few passengers, including me, got into a conversation, and I was guiding them about places to visit in Pune since they were new to the city. During this 5 to 6 hour journey, I learned that the guy wanted to be an actor and had worked in short films. He seemed like a really nice person at first. He was super talkative, but came across mostly as genuine. We spoke about travel, his work, and other casual things. His mom was also really friendly, and she asked me if there were any film institutes in Pune, and even took my number. The next day, I got a message from the guy on Instagram. I had no idea he would text me, and apparently he got my number from his mom. I wasn't very active on Instagram, so I told him that, and then he started texting me directly. This is when things got weird. His whole texting vibe was completely different from how he acted in person. At first, I replied, but kept things pretty limited. Then, one day he called me Chinna in a conversation. I don't know what that meant in Canada, so I asked. He told me it was how they address friends, but I later found out it actually means loved one. Like, seriously? How does someone call you that in just 4 days? I felt really uncomfortable, but still responded politely. Then, out of nowhere, he called me darling and started using some creepy emojis. It was such a drastic change from the person I met. At that point, I was totally put off. I stopped replying to his messages, but it didn't end there. When I wasn't replying, he actually called me at night. Not once, but 3 times, completely out of the blue without any reason. It felt so invasive, like he had no sense of boundaries. I didn't even know him that well, and now he was acting way too inappropriate. I asked a friend from Bengaluru about it, and they confirmed he sounded like a creep. I ended up blocking him, but I'm still really baffled and frustrated. How can someone seem so normal and genuine when you meet them, only to turn into a completely different person through texts and calls? Has anyone else experienced something like this? Why do people think it's okay to act this way once they have your contact? Well,
A ton of people act like that.
Yeah.
As someone who's in their 30s and dating in a major city, yeah, there's a ton of... I will say, usually they seem normal on text, and then you meet them in person, and they are very
weird.
strange.
Yeah.
The amount of
That's
times
the
I've been
thing.
catfished is insane.
I bet, yeah. That's like one of the, I mean, that's why they created the whole show Catfish.
Yeah.
Because you can text someone or talk to someone every single day, but they might act a completely different way when they're not around,
Yeah.
you know. Also, his mom was with him.
Right, so
on
he's
the
not going to be
bus.
like a little weirdo with his...
Yeah, with his mom there. Yeah. I mean, you have the miladies.
You have the ladies.
But yeah, so he's around his mom, so he's definitely being a well-behaved boy, but then he gets behind closed doors and behind his phone,
Yeah.
where people get way more confident, and he's sitting there, hey, baby girl,
Yeah.
what you doing?
That's so weird.
You're showering without me?
I hate... I'm so glad to not be doing that right now. I hate it so much.
Yeah, no,
Violent.
no.
Guys here really just want to fuck the mountains. They don't care about anything else. They just really want to like
No.
stop trying to date people then.
Yeah, and every single fucking profile is like, I moved out here with no money, just the stuff on my back.
Yeah, like so you're not a planner, which
red flag.
red flag.
Yeah, why would you move to the middle of a different city with nothing else and no idea what you're doing? That sounds like a horrible idea.
I don't know what you're even thinking. Dumb.
Yeah.
anyway, that's such a fucking weirdo.
What a freak. I hate that.
I'm reading all the comments right now.
I had, when I was in college, I remember going out one night, and it was after I'd like broken up with my first little boyfriend. And my roommates like took me out. They're like, we're going dancing. It's like Halloween weekend. Like, let's go. So I'm living La Vida Loca in the club. And this guy gets my phone number, and we were talking about going on a date. We go our separate ways, and then he's texting me, and we're trying to set something up. The problem is neither of us have a car, and we're both stuck on different campuses. So we're just texting a little bit, and I didn't answer his text because I was in class, and he started like blowing my phone up and then calling my phone. It was very strange. Yeah, I was like, never call me again.
Yeah.
Blocked, deleted,
Yeah.
do not talk to me.
One time, a guy at a concert that I met, I was in line for the bathroom, and he was also in line for the bathroom because it like merged. I don't know. It was weird. But we were just sitting and talking, and I was like, oh, he's all right. And I was drunk. But he was like, let me get your number. And so he put his number into my phone. And then I like went back to my friend because we were like at a set for a DJ. And I went back to my friend, and so we were dancing in the crowd, and I looked around, and he was like trying to find me through the crowd, and I was like, no. So we kept moving throughout the venue, just like moving to different spots, trying to avoid him. And he kept texting me and being like, where are you at? And then after we left, he was texting me and he was like, it was so good to meet you. You're so gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. And then over the next 3 days, he was texting me and he was like, oh, so you're just the type of girl that gives out her number and then never replies, right? And stuff like that, like super passive aggressive, borderline aggressive.
I hate the passive aggressive.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, like, no, I don't want to respond to you now, especially because you're fucking weird. Why would you be so, like, if a girl doesn't reply to you, she doesn't reply to you. Move on. Move on. She doesn't want to talk to you.
Consider your actions and see if there is a reason why.
Yeah, you could always send out a short survey.
An exit survey.
I totally understand that you don't want to talk to me anymore, but if you wouldn't mind filling a survey out so I know how I can improve myself in the future, that would be great. You don't have to, but all answers are anonymous.
You love weird dudes. And like, because like Lisa and I would go out a lot in our early 20s, and I love Lisa to death. She's so beautiful. She's a little flirt. So we would like go out and go dancing, and someone would like be smitten and fall in love, and I'd have to like, okay, sir, you can't follow us into the actual bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Go away. I'm glad we don't do that anymore. That was exhausting. Story 3. A very unusual gas station by the highway. Me and my girlfriend were in a city in Texas off the highway, and we stopped at a tiny gas station to get beer, chips, and such. For some reason, when we pulled in, I felt the need to say, I think I'm actually going to need to come in with you. That was weird because I usually stay in the car when we go places, or when I get out, I don't feel the need to announce it. When we walked in, everything felt very normal. We were just laughing and joking about the naked Modelo girl cardboard cutouts and her super pixelated face. We start looking at the beer, and I was being indecisive, but I could tell we were both getting really sketched out, so I just grabbed 2 coconut margarita-type drinks without thinking about it, and rushed to the counter, thinking we needed to get out. There was also this growing feeling of being watched. It was like pure malice I haven't felt before. I can't describe it. There was an old Hispanic man leaning on the ice cream cooler right by the counter, watching every customer. Everything felt slow. It's hard to explain. When I put my stuff on the counter, the man started smiling at us really wide and talking in a very strange manner, like he was trying to be charming or personable. But it just came off as strange. Outside the door, I could see a man in a red jacket also staring in the doors, just watching and waiting. They were waiting. I can't explain the overwhelming feeling of dread we had, and I didn't want to talk about it until we were driving out of the parking lot. The man in the red jacket was still circling the building, watching the car drive off. The city we were in has a reputation for having a lot of human trafficking victims coming in and out, and honestly, I think they were waiting for the perfect victim to take. I think if I hadn't gone in with my girlfriend, she would have been taken, or I would have been taken from the car. I never had such an intense, looming feeling of doom and paranoia. It seems very mundane, but it was definitely a very close call. We kept discussing it the rest of the night, and how lucky we were that we went in together and got out as quick as we could. Thank you for reading. You're welcome.
I immediately thought human trafficking whenever they were talking about that.
Yeah, my first thought was like, a ghost. But then it talked about like the people there, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. But there are, I will say, being from Texas and being all over Texas, there are so many weird gas stations everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
There's gas stations everywhere because it takes forever to drive across the fucking state.
You need them.
But there are lots of little tiny weird ones that you walk in and you're like, am I gonna die? Is this Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Am I about to get Ed Gein right now?
Did I ever tell you about the time I left my boyfriend at the time at a gas station?
Yes, I think so. But tell our listeners.
Okay, so I went to college with my high school boyfriend in California, and we had to drive back home. So his dad came to like pick us up from school and drive us back home for summer or vacation or whatever. He's a bit of a piece of shit. Like, the show that is my life, there would be no fans rooting for him, I would say. And he would just like stay in the back of the car with a blanket over his head sleeping, and I sat up front talking to his dad. So we get to the gas station in Utah. And after that gas station, there's 200 miles of no services. No cell service, no gas stations, nothing. We stop at the last possible gas station, getting gas. We decide to, like, get some nuggets because there's a Wendy's there. And they're like, oh, it's going to be a few minutes. Like, we're going to make you some fresh ones. Amazing. We go to the bathroom. We go back in the car. And then we drive off. And me and his dad are just yapping. And he gets a call on his phone from this weird number. And there are a lot of scams happening at the time. He's like, I don't think I'm going to answer it. I was like, you should just, like, answer it. And then you could yell at them if you want to. Because that's what my Nana loves to do. She loves to, like, yell at telephone scammers. And he's like, that does sound fun. Okay, he picks it up. It is his son who was standing in the gas station with no money, no cell phone, in his pajama pants. Because we left him, and we, like, circle back, and I'm dying laughing. His dad feels so bad. He's like, I cannot believe I left my firstborn son out in the desert. And I'm laughing. I'm like, this is actually fucking hilarious. I'm calling everyone I know. I'm like, bitch, guess what? You'll never believe what we just did. We go and we pick him up, and he's just, like, sitting on the curb, and he was so dramatic about it. With how that ended, I'm glad you got left in the desert. You deserved that.
He absolutely did deserve it, though. I mean, how are you supposed to know that you left him? Because he was sitting in the back with a fucking blanket over his head.
The blanket was still there.
How weird to do that while your girlfriend's, like, sitting in the front seat just talking to your dad. You're sitting in the back with your blanket over your head.
Like a child.
Yeah, literal child.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, weird gas station. I always, if I go to the gas station by myself and I get out of my car, I obviously lock my car. But if I'm getting out and getting gas, I get back in and then I lock my doors again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which I know you're not supposed to do. I know you're not supposed to, like, get out of your car.
I don't get back in because I've heard it can make your car blow up, and it's just what I think about.
How many times does that happen, though?
I don't know, but I don't want to be it takes one time for it to be you, and then you're dead.
But I've never heard that. And also, it's the static electricity, so as long as you ground yourself before, like, touch some metal and stuff and get the static shock off of you.
But what if you don't?
I don't know. Die, I guess.
I don't want to
I would rather
die that way.
Well, I would rather die that way than die by somebody coming up and stealing me and then torturing me
that's, like,
until I die.
obviously a worse option.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to explode.
Pick and choose your battles, ma'am. That's why I lock myself in my car.
There's other ways to die.
Yeah, but I like locking my car. Anywhere I go, I lock my car. It doesn't matter. If I'm sitting in my car waiting to do anything, my car is locked.
Oh, yeah.
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 We're not trusting nobody.
No.
Nobody.
There's creepazoids out there.
They're everywhere. As we have learned.
Everywhere. There's creeps everywhere.
As we have learned from the past 28 episodes, there are creepies everywhere all the time.
We're surrounded.
Everywhere, everything, everywhere all the time.
all at once.
Yeah. Good for you for going into the gas station with your girlfriend, though.
Trusting your intuition, that's good.
Yeah, listening to your gut, knowing to go in. Because there have been stories where girls will go to, like, an outside bathroom at a gas station and then get taken. You can't even trust some women these days because some women even...
Yeah, Ghislaine fucking Maxwell.
Yep.
That was her
perfect
thing.
example.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Story 4. Creepy guy at train station. So, I was picking up my daughter from her nursery with my newborn in a baby carrier attached to me. My daughter was in her pushchair on our way home on the train. The station next to our house doesn't have step-free access on the platform we get off at, so we go to the next station and get the train back to our station, as this way we can get off on the step-free access platform.
I know what they're talking about now.
They're talking about just
Yeah. Took a second for my brain.
Yeah. As I got to the station after my home station, we were getting off the train and this guy suddenly lifted my daughter's pushchair up as if to help get off the train. But it wasn't necessary. I was a bit confused as we didn't need any help. He said, "Let me help you," looking down, and now looking back, probably to cover his face with his peak cap. Long story short, he was following me all around the station. Every time I went to the elevator to reach my platform, he would follow me. When I went to the main part of the station, he'd follow me there. The weird thing is he was acting like he hadn't noticed that I'd noticed when I was clearly trying to avoid him. He never made eye contact with me. I was petrified as I had my 2 very young children, 23 months and 3 months old, with me. To make a very long story less long, I typed a message on my phone that I needed help and showed it to a staff member at the station, as I didn't want to create a scene or the situation to affect my daughter. The staff member helped me get to my platform and catch a train, ensuring the creepy guy didn't get the same train as me. He literally hopped on and off after me until the train left. I'm shaken up, worried for my children, and feel like I need to change my route, and I feel paranoid it wasn't a one-off. It was like dead obvious that he was after me for something, but didn't make eye contact with me at all. I'm curious why people think this guy was following me blatantly but wouldn't make eye contact with me. Surely if he was trying to scare me, he would have stared at me to be intimidating, but he was being blatant and acting like he wasn't after me at the same time. But his behavior was very confusing.
Okay, so my initial thoughts is that he's not going after you, he's going after your children. And then looking you in the eye would like humanize you and also make him identifiable if you make eye contact and you see his face.
Yeah.
My thought is he's going after the children, probably the 2-year-old. Statistically, women kidnap babies.
Yeah, that's what I would guess too.
Waiting for them to slip away just enough. Because sometimes like kids are just like running through the stores.
That's what I don't get all the time. You go anywhere and you see kids like this woman at Meow Wolf.
Yeah.
When Sarah and I went to Meow Wolf, this kid, this tiny little child ran into Sarah and the mom was like, sorry, we don't do personal space.
Huh?
Girl, what are you talking about? I could have snatched your child up and ran.
Right.
I could have done so many things. I could have kicked your child. Like, sorry.
I was at Costco and I was walking through the aisles and there's just child that just runs through the aisles and is just standing in between me. And I look up and there's an Asian lady looking at me and both of us are like, whose white baby is this? So we just stand there around the baby like, well, I can't leave
Whose
you.
child is this?
Hello?
Somebody come
Anybody?
get it. Whose is this?
Could have been the rest of the store, to be honest with you. So I have no idea whose baby that was. Eventually, like, it was always the fucking dad. Eventually, the dad came and was like, oh, yeah. Come on, Timothy.
Working at theme parks for so long taught me how bad it is because kids will literally run everywhere and their parents are too busy with whatever they're doing to notice until their kid is halfway across the park. And then the kid's running up to somebody being like, I can't find my mom.
Yeah.
Probably because you ran away because your mommy wasn't watching you.
Yeah.
And it's like, there was one time that made me so mad. These kids came into my restaurant and they started hitting the fork and spoon dispensers until they were all over the floor. And I was like, hey, stop doing that. And this mom came in and was like, don't yell at my kids. I'm like, tell them to stop.
Your kids are pieces of shit. Like,
They're literally wasting all of these plastic forks and spoons and knives that I can't use now because they fell on the floor and your kids' grubby little hands are all over them. Control your children. Not to parent shame. I'm not a parent, but just keep an eye on your kids. Just watch your kids. Like this person. Perfect example. This person was cognizant of what was going on. They picked out, hey, this is weird. This is weird. This is weird. I need to keep my children as close to me as possible.
right.
Have you not seen any creepy story or any episode of Criminal Minds where the kids just gets
Yanked and no one knows where it went. Yeah.
no one knows where it went? It's gone.
It is gone.
The child is gone.
Yeah, children are still a little bit of an it to me.
That's fair. But yeah, no, that's super creepy. I have had a few instances where people have like followed me around somewhere.
Yeah.
And I start to clock it and I have to, like, there was one time at a gas station at a Buc-ee's.
Okay.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
I was at a Buc-ee's and this guy was literally like walking around with his like phone in his hand on his side and just was like right behind me the whole time. I was like,
Yeah.
so either you're conveniently looking in all the same places that I'm looking, or you're literally standing this close to me and just like every time I move, you're right there. Get off me.
Go away.
Yeah.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
Yeah, that's my thought. He's trying to kidnap your...
Yeah,
Your
it's
daughter.
100%. The kids trying to, or the person trying to get the kids.
So gross and scary. What did the comments say?
And there's a lot of fighting in the comments.
Oh.
But people are saying that it's a predator. Other people are like, you should cause a scene. If somebody is being weird to you, it should be normalized to cause a scene. But it's also, it goes into how, I mean, there's a whole aspect of, well, what if that's not what they're doing? And then you don't want to make a big scene out of it and embarrass them, because what if they're just confused and they're honestly just really stupid?
Yeah. And you also have like your two young children with you, one that's a literal baby.
Yeah.
If you do cause a scene and
It's
things escalate.
traumatizing, yeah.
Well, not only is it traumatizing, if things escalate and become physical, you still have to take care of your children.
Yeah.
So like the 2-year-old can start running. The stroller can go in a weird direction. Like
Yeah.
you need to kind of.
And there's trains.
Yeah, there's trains. Yeah.
And
So-
if what would you do with John Quiones has taught me at all is that a lot of people won't do shit,
Yeah.
which is really sad. Like people can be getting harassed and abused and beaten up, and people will just walk by.
Yeah. So
You
I get not wanting to
yeah.
cause a big scene and just be like, hey, can someone just help me? You're trying to get out of that scenario as quickly as possible instead of fanning the flames and engaging.
Exactly. Yeah. I think their route that they went with just showing an employee a little note that says like, hey, I need help. I think that's the perfect thing to do.
But yeah, a lot of people are going back and forth on that in the comments. I think it just comes down to personality and experiences.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. I'm not going to cause like a big scene like that.
No, I wouldn't either. I'd probably do exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Or run. But if I had kids, I couldn't run. That's true. So.
You have to practice running drills. If we ever got to escape, one baby here, stroller, go.
Well, I don't have babies, so
Yeah.
I would never have to worry about it.
If I ever have them, you can borrow mine and practice.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, trains are
Go
always
play at Addison's house.
trains are always really spooky for me because you see so much, especially when I'm riding the subway in New York.
because there's no way off, and there's only you can go in between cars, and people will just get weird. Like there's been so many stabbings on trains and stuff like that, where some crazy person just goes nuts. There was one time. Not scary. Well, I guess it was scary, but it wasn't scary like I thought anything was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I was on a train in New York, and this guy, the train wasn't moving. Like we were on the subway, and it wasn't going anywhere. We were like, are the doors going to close anytime soon?
Yeah.
So everyone's like looking out the door, and we look out the door, and there's this guy passed out, probably from drugs, on the like right on the tarmac, or what is it called? The platform. Yeah, he was right on the platform, but like half in the train, half on the platform.
Oh my
like
God.
in the door,
Yeah.
just passed out.
Gotcha.
So that was weird.
Yeah. We see weird things on the train.
Yeah.
I love trains. I just wish they weren't so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, they're always a little sketchy. You always have to like keep
Be
your eyes
vigilant.
peeled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cuz there's some weird people. One time though, I took acid.
And you were the weird people barking at people.
Well, cuz usually if you're on the subway or something, you're looking at your phone, right? So you're not looking around and making eye contact with people. But I was gone, and I was on the subway, and I was looking at everyone, and I could not stop laughing. I was just looking around.
There's
so,
a Redditor out there.
Well, I looked normal, I think. I don't know.
I just imagine your eyes huge.
Yeah.
And you're just laughing it up. And
But
people
also,
being like,
my feet are so dirty because I had walked like 15 miles.
you're like, I looked normal.
I was wearing, my hair is probably disheveled because I've been
Yeah.
walking outside the whole time. And I'm just looking around laughing.
Yeah, I bet someone sat on the train and be like, oh, I wonder what joke they're telling over there. She needs to wash her feet. Why is she still laughing?
It was, yeah.
It's so funny. It probably wasn't that. It was probably just like,
I was laughing, but I was like trying to stifle it because I knew it was weird and I knew it looked weird. So I was like sitting there like the whole time. Yeah, I could not keep a straight face. It was not good.
Somewhere out there, girl on the train laughing. Let's not meet.
Sorry. Oh, goodness. I've ridden the train with Katie here a couple times now, but both times that I've ridden it with her, we're talking about sex or like smut.
Yeah.
So the people who sit around us, like the first time I rode the train with her, we got kind of drunk. We went downtown and then rode it back, and we got kind of drunk. And we were sitting talking about these books and what we liked about the books, and we were like going into detail. And I was like, man, these people that are sitting around us, I mean, at the time I'm not thinking about it, but then the next day I'm like, how loud were we?
No, I imagine like Ethel was sitting there like getting the paper and pen out of her purse being like,
Lights out.
she brought it to her book club. They all loved it.
I don't blame them. Have you read that yet?
Is that the one with the mask?
Yeah.
No, I did tell Shannon about that though, because someone was talking about like smut and like darker romantics, and I was like, if you need recommendations, you need to talk to Addison. I don't remember who I told that to, and then I described the book that you're reading now, and like the whole room was like, ooh,
Yeah. CNC man.
CNC man,
Consensual, non-consensual. Semen man.
CNC man.
Just a big semen.
Yeah, that's
Like, I wasn't even imagining
Like
like
a
a
sperm?
seaman. I was imagining like a big sperm, but
Yeah.
like built like a man.
Oh yeah, this entire time I was thinking sperm. I was like, why'd they call it that?
I went to the Museum of Sex in New York
Yeah.
a couple times, but the time that I went with Quentin, they have a glory hole game.
But anyway, it's like you know, like the button game at Dave and Buster's where you have to hit all the buttons, and like turn the lights off, but you have to do it fast. It's like that, but with the holes in the wall next to you because you're in a stall and little things coming out of the wall.
That's so
and
funny.
you have to yank them. Yeah. And so
I had to like pop it
no,
back
you
in.
have to yank them. And I did very good.
Oh my god.
And I got a little plushy sperm.
Yay.
Yeah, it's in the office. That's where the little sperm is from.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's a great time. The museum's very fun.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, they have a big bounce house that has big boobies on. It's just big boobs.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a slide that you go into this woman's mouth and you come out of her ass.
That's very like Magic School Bus.
Yeah. There's also a 4D movie that you watch. So you go and you sit in the chairs and then like it's like an artistic porn.
I was about to say it's definitely a porn.
Yeah, and then you get sprayed in the face.
I was about to ask, I was
Yeah.
like, what do they do? Like, what, they got a little squirt bottle?
Yeah, you get like air, like little air cannons go off at some points, and like the seats move, and they like vibrate, and then whenever the big climax is, it sprays you in the face with water.
That's hilarious.
It's so fun. It's so fun. So
wild. So, how are you feeling now? Planes, trains, automobiles.
you know, for once, I'd like a story that doesn't make me want to be a hermit.
You know that you're no safer inside than you are outside?
I mean, at least we can record our podcast inside, and I can tell our listeners to like
And comment and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Follow us. Please follow us on Spotify so we
Yeah.
can get more listeners on Spotify.
Yeah.
Share it with all your friends. Share it with your grandma, your aunt, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your grandpa, your third cousin, your second cousin. Share it with all of us, all of them. We have TikTok and Reddit and Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
All at what was that _the pod. And if you would like to share your story with us, please do, because we love listener stories. Email us at whatwasthat.thepod@gmail.com. And yeah, help us and support us and give us more traction, because we've been on a roll and we want to get more on a roll.
Okay, but after those stories, are you sure we want more people to follow us?
You know, in retrospect, the wording doesn't seem right, but you know, anyway. Until next time. Wait, what was that?